If you're smart, which you probably are if you're seeing this, because it means you're probably subscribed to me, so good job, then here are 5 of the most dangerous myths to avoid as a smart person starting or growing a business online. And congratulations, by the way, as the owner of a smart brain with lots of creases and mass and folds and neuroplasticity in your noodle. And real quick, before we start, I'm Harrison, if you didn't know that. I've sold over $1 million online, and I've gained over 1 million followers online, and I've helped my clients sell millions more and gain millions more. And you can see some of the results that I've gotten for guys over here on the side of my screen. And today I'm going to expose the 5 most harmful, the 5 most insidious myths that plague the online business industry that take advantage of beginners' naivete, even though you're smart, which we've already established that you are, and you can still fall victim to these myths even if you're smart. And we're exposing them right now. And myth number one, are you ready to start with me? I'm ready to start. Here we go. Myth number 1. This one says, this is something that a lot of people do. I did it. It says, I'm going to start out cheap. I'm going to start out low ticket. And then ultimately, when I'm ready, I'm going to grow to high ticket because I'll have more authority by then and it'll be easier by then. And this one is so bad. And like I said, I fell victim to this one myself. And I'll tell you that story in a second. But I saw this was top of mind for me because I saw this one rear its ugly, its hideous head a couple days ago when I got a marketing email from a well-known person in the online marketing business space. And this person was pitching a several $1,000 program that was ostensibly designed to teach beginners how to build and sell a course. That's what he was going to get your money to teach you how to do. And the dream that he was selling was that it was going to be this kind of full-time passive, which more on the passive thing in a little bit, this passive income. And the price that they recommended you sell your course for to the market, $300. $300 you're going to have a full-time income selling $300 courses, and he's going to teach you how to do it, which is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Stop it. Stop it. Don't fall for this. Don't fall for this kind of stuff. So let's see here. I made this easy to show you why this is so ridiculous. So let's run some quick numbers. They're over here, right? That's the side of my screen. I can never tell because it's always mirror back and forth, but I think they're over here. So let's run these numbers. Let's say you wanted to have a year, you wanted to make $200,000 in a year before taxes. That's pretty solid. Most people can live on that in most areas of the country. So you wanted to do $200,000 in a year, and you're selling this $300 course that this guy tells you can do. So right off the bat, you'd have to sell about 667 courses over the course of a year to do that, first of all. So 667, that's how many you need to sell. And let's say that you had an incredible landing page with a generous conversion rate of 2%, which you probably won't have that. You probably won't have one convert that high because you're a beginner, but we're being charitable to these hucksters who are selling you this garbage. So if you had that, you would need over 33,000 visits to that landing page over the course of a year to make $200,000. 33,000. And that's almost 100 visits per day. And if you're starting out, my question for you is, where in the world are those visits, or those people, where are they going to come from? Where? Nowhere. No, they're going to come from nowhere. That's where, because they don't exist. It does not exist. The audience doesn't exist. The traffic doesn't exist. You cannot sell this kind of volume without a huge traffic source. And if you're starting out, this traffic source is something that you do not have, and you will not have it for a very long time. And that's just the reality. I'd tell you my story. Well, I started even lower ticket because I fell victim to this. But I did have a huge traffic source when I started. So I had about 50,000 followers on Twitter, and I launched it was X now. I don't care what you call it. X, Twitter, Elon's baby mama factory. I had about 50,000 followers on Twitter, and I launched a $10 a month community. $10 a month community. And after sending all of my traffic to that landing page for months and months and months, which I had about a 3% conversion on, by the way, just saying. I sent all my traffic there for months and months and months. The most money that I ever made in a month was $3,000. $3,000 in sales. And that's with a big audience that you don't have, right now when you're starting out. So do not get sucked into selling a low ticket thing when you're starting out. It just doesn't pencil. It doesn't pencil out. You have to go high ticket. It is the only way to replace your 9 to 5 income with any sort of expediency at all. It's what worked for me. It's what works for all the guys in my incubator program. It's just what works, period. And people buy into this thing because it seems like it's going to be easier to sell a cheaper thing. It does. It seems lower risk because it doesn't raise your cortisol levels like selling an expensive thing does. It doesn't get your heart pumping. And I get that. That was my thinking too. But you know what does raise your cortisol levels? When you sink hundreds of hours into a stupid plan that makes you a couple $1,000s because you were too scared to sell something high ticket because you didn't listen to me in this video. And then your family's wondering why dad is so crazy. What's wrong with him selling peanut price things to an audience that doesn't exist? So don't do it. Stop it. That's myth number one. Don't think that you can start with this really cheap stuff and get there. Really, ever. You'll quit before you get there. Okay, I've seen it happen. So that's myth number one. Myth number two. Are you ready? Are you locked in? I'm locked in. Myth number two is, I told you we'd get to this too, the passive. I'm going to set up my business so that it's passive. I'm going to passive income, baby. And I hear this one all the time. And I hear all of these all the time, actually, because I talk to you guys every day inside my school community, which you can join and you get my free course and calls with me every week. The link is in the description of this video. So go ahead and click that and get in there after you watch the video, or do it now. I don't care. And this myth is so wrong-headed that I almost can't believe it. So if somebody is selling you a dream of a passive income business and you buy that dream, they are robbing you blind. They are robbing you blind. I have yet to meet a single person online. I know a lot of them. I haven't met a single person who has started something from scratch that was truly passive. It doesn't exist. Sure, maybe if you're like an equity owner in some kind of cash flowing business that's well established years down the road, that can be passive. Maybe it's arguable, but that's not what we're talking about anyway. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about you who wants to build a business online. And if you want to build a business online, here's what you need. Here are the things that you need in order to do this. You need to build a product or service. You need to promote that product or service. You need to sell that product or service. And usually you need to deliver that product or service in some kind of way. And none of those things, there's 4 things. None of them, not one, are passive in any way, shape, or form. You cannot, will not ever create passive income as a beginner online. You can forget about it right now. I hate to inform you and be this bearer of bad news, but it will take work to do this. And how much work it takes depends a lot on your goals. But no matter what your goals are, it's going to take hard, focused, dedicated work to squeeze any income at all out of the masses who are lurking around on the internet. So stop fooling yourself into thinking that it won't, and run far, far away from anybody who's positioning themselves as a person who can help you do this passively. They're best case scenario, they're wrong. Worst case scenario, they're lying to you and they know it. That's myth number 2. Myth number 3, here we go. Myth number 3, on the opposite end of the spectrum. The opposite end of the spectrum is myth number 3, and that's, I don't have time for this. I don't have time. I'm a busy dad. I'm just so busy. I don't have time to start a business. And I hear this one from you guys all the time too. So half of you think that you're just going to kick back and make some easy money passively. And the other half seem to think that creating a business is some kind of Herculean, all-encompassing thing that's going to take you 68 or 80 hours a week. And you're both wrong. Both groups, you're both wrong. And this latter group, this I don't have time group, if that's you, then let me spell it out for you. You can do this while you work full time. You can do this while you have a family. And how do I know that? Because I did it. If you want to get up to this, call it, we'll say $10,000 a month range, somewhere in there. You can do this in 2 hours a day. Seriously. And yes, that includes weekends a lot of the time, but that's a kind of a reasonable, realistic expectation. You just have to make sure that you're focused on the right things. And when I was doing it, It took me about 16 months of working 4 extra hours a day on top of my job, on top of having 2 kids under 2 at the time, working every weekend with no vacations and 9 PM sales calls, and waking up at 4 AM, although we weren't really waking up because we weren't sleeping anyway because we had 2 kids under 2 at the time. I did all of that, but I made a lot of mistakes. And now you lucky viewer, especially lucky person who joins my incubator program where I help you do this one-on-one to build a 6-figure business in under 6 months, you get the benefit of all of my mistakes, which will save you massive amounts of time to where you can realistically do this in around 2 hours a day, provided you do what I say and you do the right things and you don't waste time on the wrong crap, which is what I did. Now, I will caveat all of this and say, if you want this to be a big thing, like 30, 50, $100,000 a month or higher, then yes, that's going to take way more than 2 hours a day. But at the beginning, when you're getting your footing and you're making your first handful of sales, 2 hours a day is what you need. So you do have time. Stop it. Stop it. I did it. And 4 hours a day, but I made a bunch of mistakes. So I did it even when I was busy, and I'm not special. I'm not. My parents think I'm special, and my wife thinks I'm special, and my kids think I'm special. But the average people on the internet do not and should not think that I'm special. And so if I did it, so can you. Myth number 3, it doesn't take this crazy amount of time. All right. Myth number 4, how's my hair? Terrible. All right. Myth number 4. And this one's kind of like the passive income idea, but it's a little bit different and it's equally stupid. So this one is, I'm just going to grow a huge audience, and then once I do that, I'm going to get paid by ad revenue. Ad revenue. I'm going to be a YouTube ad rev guy or an X Twitter ad rev guy. That's my golden ticket. LFG. I'm going to be a thread boy. I'm going to be a thread boy on X. And these tech companies, these Daddy Elon or Daddy Google or Daddy, what's it? Sundar Pichai. He's still Google, right? He's Google. Sundar Pichai. Yeah. These guys are gonna pay me, and they're gonna make me wealthy beyond my wildest dreams. And my answer to you is, if that's what you're thinking, my answer to you is, no, they are not. No, they are not. Hey, you want to talk about risk? A lot of people think it's risky to start an online business. I don't happen to think it's risky, but you want to talk about risk, like pie in the sky, needle in a haystack odds of success, then make ad revenue, make that your whole plan. Make ad revenue your whole strategy. Because for every one guy who makes a full-time income from ad revenue, there are 10,000 guys who make peanuts, who may never even make a dime. And how do I know? Because I'm one of them. I'm one of them. I have over 500,000 followers on X right now as I'm recording this video. I get millions of impressions a month. You know how much money I've made total in my lifetime value of the X ad rev share program? You know how much that is for me? About $2,000. About $2,000. That's over the course of a year plus. $2,000. Good luck. Good luck feeding your family with that. And you don't have 500,000 followers. You don't have 500,000 followers. So you're going to make even less. So your family's going to starve. So don't buy into this ad revenue share dream. I'm just kidding. Your family's not going to starve because you're smart, because we already established that. So you'll figure out a way, but that way is not going to be through ad share. You'll figure out a way to feed your family. It's not going to be through this. And so don't fall into it. I see people pitching this all the time. Like, I'm going to buy my program and you can learn how to build a faceless YouTube channel. Yada frickin' yada. Your odds are better of walking outside right now, walking out your front door, walking out the front door of your office, wherever you're sitting right now. Get up, go out, walk outside. Your odds are better of doing that and God in heaven opening up the clouds and striking the ground 6 inches from your feet with a lightning bolt than they are of making a full-time income with ad revenue. That's how much of a long shot it is. It's just not going to happen. So you got to build a real business, okay? Build a real business. If you need help with that, click the link in my bio and talk to me in my school. I'll DM you as soon as you get in there, and you can say, thank you, Harrison, for showing me the light that I'm not going to be a thread boy. I was going to be a thread boy, and I'm not going to be a thread boy, and you saved me from that fate. You're welcome. You're welcome. And finally, myth number 5. This one, here we go. If you've watched my stuff, you've heard this one before. Myth number 5 is, well, I need some kind of new skill. I need a make money skill. I need an make money online skill. I need to learn this new skill. And this one is for all you guys who are thinking about doing some kind of, quote, buying some kind of program where you're going to get charged thousands of dollars, sometimes 5 figures plus, to learn drop shipping or Amazon KDP or ghostwriting or some kind of Airbnb arbitrage scheme or Lord knows what else these maniacs are selling online these days. And if this applies to you, if you hear me say this and this applies to you, you know it. You know I'm talking about you. I see you. You're sitting there, you're scrolling your phone all day and you're reading content. You're looking at content about how easy it is to just go, you're going to go buy a Main Street business. That's one of them. You're going to buy a Main Street business and be a quote operator, and you're going to roll up a bunch of home service businesses or something. This is another one that people like to sell. Yeah, sure, buddy. Sure, buddy. You're going to be great. You're going to be great at operating a commercial cleaning service in Topeka. Or even better, go buy an auto shop. Sure. Go buy an auto shop. Those employees at that auto shop, they're gonna run through a brick wall for you when you show up on day one in your penny loafers and your button-down blue Oxford. That's the type of presence and leadership that those guys respect. Let me make this as clear as I can for you. If you buy into the idea, I'm going to be serious for a second. This whole thing is serious, but it's meant to have an engaging and humorous tone throughout. So, but let me make it clear. If you buy into this idea that you need some kind of new skill to have an online business, then you are making this way harder than it ever needs to be. Because you're not going to have to just learn one new skill when you're doing this. You're going to have to also learn sales and marketing, and you're probably going to have to learn some sort of thing around delivery, some skills around delivery. So that's like 4 new skills that you're going to have to learn as you go and as you do this. So why would you do that to yourself? Why would you make it harder than it has to be? The best way to do it, and the way I teach people in the incubator to do it, is to use a skill that you already have. And the best place to start for that is by looking directly at your 9-to-5. Your 9-to-5 pays you for a reason. And the reason that they pay you is because you are profitable to them. It is profitable to pay you. So why would you not take what you already have a competitive advantage in and offer that? Offer that skill as a service to people or businesses. Well, I don't know why you wouldn't do that. I don't know why. Because you're going to go buy an HVAC company, and that seems way cooler or something, I guess, because the people selling that dream are really good at marketing. But it is not the right path. It's not the right path. Don't do it. Don't buy a plumbing company. Click the link in my bio and join me in the school instead. It takes 5 seconds. And if you like this video, give it a like, throw me a subscribe, share it with your friends, whatever you got to do, go ahead and do that. And until next time, I'll talk to you soon.